Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. Let's get the conversation restarted now with the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, who joins us from our Abuja studio. Many thanks for joining us on the program tonight, Mr. Adesina. Let's begin with some of the updates and the news that we are getting from Dapchi in Yobe State, Nigeria. A lot of people would have thought that this will never happen after the stories of those boys in Yobe State in their school, FGGC, and the one that happened in Chibok. This time around, the president had come out to say that this is a situation of a national disaster. How perhaps do you think Nigerians should relate with some of these issues, especially at a time when the government did say that Boko Haram has been defeated totally?
Thank you. Good evening. I am happy you said it should never have happened. And truly, it should never have happened. After what the country experienced in the Chibok Girls saga, this one that just happened in Dapchi should never have happened. But now it has happened. The best thing to do is, how do we redress it as quickly as possible? How do we pull the chestnut out of the fire? And that is what government is working at. The president has come out to say it's a national disaster, and it is very regrettable and it is sad. I would just want to appeal to the parents of those young girls to please bear with the government and trust that the government will do all that is possible, all that is needful, all that is necessary to bring those students back.
One of the issues that have come up is the withdrawal of security guards in some of these areas, which some of those parents have raised that it came just a few weeks after some of these troops were withdrawn. Is the government looking into perhaps this kind of situation, which parents themselves are blaming already on some of this situation?
Well, that will be outside my purview, and I know that the military, particularly, I think it's the brigade commander of the GOC there, has responded to it to say that that was not exactly how it happened. I think we should just go with that explanation. It's outside my purview to really comment on.
When the issue of the insurgency in the Northeast, when the president took oath of office, he did say that the command and control center should be taken to the very heart of the fight, the theater of war there in Borno State at the time. But it looks so much that a war is being taken out of Borno, which was like the mainstay of this war. Yobe is being hit recently in all of this. Is it for the commander-in-chief that you speak for, is there a change of strategy or a change in the perspective in fighting this war, which is a major agenda of your government?
Well, you need to realize that the insurgency was endemic in 3 states, actually. Borno, we just happened to be the epicenter of it, and then you had Adamawa and Yobe. In recent times, Adamawa and Yobe had been quite calm with the situation under control because the insurgents were driven out completely from those states. And they had their bulwark in the Sambisa forest in Borno State. And you know that Sambisa forest also came under barrage and they were driven out completely. So it's not unlikely that when they lost their stronghold in Sambisa forest in Borno, they then found their way back to Yobe. And this is why what happened. But the military, I'm sure, is responding adequately to it.
The president has sent some of his men, some of his cabinet members on the ground. Is the president visiting that area anytime soon?
The president is the father of the country. This is not just the delegation that went today, is the second one in 7 days or 6 days, because it will be 1 week tomorrow that the event happened. So In 6 days, 2 delegations had been there. They will bring reports back to the president. If the president needs to visit, he will surely visit. He's the father of the country, the entire country. It's his terrain and territory. He can go anywhere when there is the need to go.
But because of the gravity and the magnitude of this situation, we're talking about 110 schoolgirls. Is there a strong possibility that the president might be visiting?
The president can visit anywhere at any time as soon as it is needful and expedient for him to visit.
Before we conclude the conversation on this, so that we move into the issues of anti-corruption, can we say again that Boko Haram has been totally defeated?
Well, if the operating word is totally, the answer is no, obviously. But has Boko Haram been degraded? I would say yes, terribly so. Compare how Boko Haram was in 2015 when this administration came. They were virtually running riot everywhere. How many times was Kano bombed? How many times was Abuja bombed? How many times was Kogi bombed? Boko Haram was everywhere. Northeast, northwest, north central. They were making forays into southwest and possibly south-south. But they were driven out from all these areas till they became circumscribed in Borno and precisely within Sambisa forest. You can't compare then and now. They have been terribly, terribly degraded. But is the war over? No, it is not completely over.